What if the biggest financial mistakes you will ever make happen after 50? Not when you are young and inexperienced, not when you are still figuring things out, but at the exact moment when you feel the most confident, the most settled, the most in control. That is the part nobody talks about, because after 50, life looks stable on the surface. You have built something, you have saved, you have experience, and that creates a dangerous illusion that you have already figured money out. But here is the truth. After 50, the rules change. And if you keep playing by the old ones, you can quietly destroy your own wealth without even realizing it. Not in one big mistake, but in small, consistent decisions that slowly work against you. And by the time it becomes obvious, it is already late. So let us talk about the mistakes that actually matter. The ones that do not make noise. The ones that do not look like mistakes at all, but have the power to change your entire financial future. Because once you see them clearly, you can avoid them. And that changes everything. There is a shift that happens when people cross 50, a mental shift. For decades, your focus was growth, earning more, investing more, building something bigger. But now, the focus turns to protection, and that sounds responsible. It sounds safe. But this is where the first mistake quietly begins. Trying to eliminate risk completely, you start moving your money into safer options, low returns, low volatility, stability, and while that protects you from short-term market swings, it exposes you to something far more dangerous: time. Because your money still needs to grow, not aggressively, but consistently, enough to outpace inflation, enough to support a retirement that could last 30 years or more. And when you remove growth completely, your money starts losing value, slowly, silently, every single year. Now think about this for a second. What is riskier, a temporary market drop or a guaranteed loss of purchasing power over decades? This is where most people get it wrong. They focus on what feels risky instead of what actually is. And that leads to the next mistake: holding too much cash. Cash feels safe. It gives you control. You can access it anytime. But here is the problem. Cash does not grow. It just sits there, while inflation quietly eats away at it. And the longer it sits, the weaker it becomes. At first, it does not matter much, but over 10, 15, 20 years, it makes a massive difference. This is how people slowly reduce their future lifestyle without even realizing it. Now here is where things take a different turn. Some people, instead of being too conservative, go in the opposite direction. They start chasing returns. After 50, there is often a sense of urgency, a feeling that time is limited, that there is not enough time to grow wealth slowly. So they take bigger risks, invest in things they do not fully understand, follow trends, hype, quick profit opportunities, and sometimes it works, but many times it does not. And the consequences are severe, because at this stage, there is very little time to recover from a major loss. One bad decision can undo decades of progress. Now let me ask you something honestly. Is chasing speed worth risking stability? That is a question many people answer too late. Now let us talk about something that almost everyone underestimates: healthcare. After 50, healthcare is not a side expense. It becomes a central part of your financial life. Regular checkups, medications, preventive care, and sometimes unexpected events. And those unexpected events are the ones that cause the most damage, because they are not planned, they are not budgeted, and they can be extremely expensive. Many people assume insurance will cover everything, but it does not. There are gaps, out-of-pocket costs, long-term care needs that can drain savings quickly, and once that money is gone, it is very difficult to replace. This is why planning early matters, because the cost of ignoring it is much higher later. Now here is another mistake that does not look like a mistake: withdrawing money without a clear plan. After decades of saving, you finally start using your money, and most people do it casually. They take what they need when they need it. But this approach can quietly destroy your portfolio, because withdrawals affect everything: your taxes, your investment growth, your long-term sustainability. Taking too much too early reduces your future security. Taking from the wrong accounts increases your tax burden. And over time, these small inefficiencies become big losses. Now imagine having enough money for retirement, but running out early because of how you used it. That is not a lack of money. Now let us talk about lifestyle, because this is where things become very real. After 50, many people expect their expenses to go down, but in reality, they often go up. You have more time, more opportunities to spend, travel, dining, experiences. And again, there is nothing wrong with enjoying life. But without awareness, spending can quietly increase beyond sustainable levels. And because there is no active income, every extra expense comes from your savings. This creates a slow drain, not dramatic, but consistent, until one day it becomes a problem. Now here is something that comes from a good place, but often leads to financial stress. Helping others too much, supporting children, helping family members, giving financially beyond your capacity. It feels right, it feels necessary. But after 50, your ability to recover financially is limited, and overextending yourself can put your own future at risk. Helping should not mean sacrificing your own stability, because if you lose your financial independence, you may become dependent later, and that helps no one. Now let us talk about something that people ignore, until it quietly takes a large portion of their wealth: taxes. After 50, tax efficiency becomes extremely important. Not just how much you earn, but how much you keep. And yet, most people do not plan for this. They withdraw money without considering tax impact. They trigger higher tax brackets. They miss opportunities to reduce liabilities. And all of this happens quietly. There is no alarm. When was the last time you updated your financial plan? Not just checked your investments, but actually reviewed everything: your income strategy, your expenses, your risk, your goals. If it has been a long time, that is a mistake in itself. They believe they are set, and they stop planning. But retirement is not a fixed number. It is a moving target. Inflation changes it, lifestyle changes it, health changes it, longevity changes it, and assuming you have enough without continuously evaluating can lead to serious problems later. Because running out of money is not a sudden event. It is a slow realization, and by the time it becomes clear, now imagine two people at 50, same income, same savings. One stays aware, adjusts, plans, learns, evolves. The other becomes comfortable. But because of decisions, small decisions, made consistently over time, and that is the real message here. Avoiding financial mistakes after 50 is not about doing something extreme. It is about awareness, clarity, consistency. It is about understanding that this phase of life requires a different approach, a smarter approach, a more intentional approach. If this made you think even for a moment, do not ignore it, because awareness without action changes nothing. Share this with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want to protect your wealth, avoid costly mistakes and build a future that actually lasts, then subscribe to The Wealth After 50, like this video, and share it with others who are serious about their financial future. Because in the end, it is not the obvious mistakes that destroy wealth. It is the quiet ones, the ones you never see coming until it is too late.